to Assembly Audible, the podcast dedicated to exploring all aspects of product assembly. I'm your host, multimedia editor Jennifer Pierce, and we're so happy you're tuning in today. We're recording from the Assembly Show in Rosemont, Illinois, and I am joined by Adrian Sanchez, Director of Commercial and Industrial Sales with Starline. Adrian, welcome to the podcast.
Jennifer, I'm delighted to be here. I'm excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for those who are listening.
Absolutely. So let's kick this off by talking about the race to digitize and decarbonize. As manufacturers race to do those things, how does flexible power distribution become not just a technical upgrade, but a strategic enabler of resilience, innovation, and sustainability? What a kickoff question.
Do you have an easier question? No.
Pass.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
No.
you cannot pass.
No, you couldn't have started this conversation with such an important question. And just to start, look at how much we have advanced in manufacturing, right? We have been a long partner of your organization coming to the show, and we have seen all the innovations, all of the changes, how the technology is changing rapidly. Robots, cobots, data centers, AI, AGVs, et cetera, et cetera. Every day we're finding ways to do manufacturing faster, more efficiently. But one part that we are missing out is the electrical power distribution. Okay. The electrical power distribution can truncate those strategies. And that conversation is taking place at a tactical level, but sometimes not at the strategic level. And I'll give you an example.
Yes, please.
For example, the Formula One, for those of you race cars aficionados, right? The race cars utilize a different type of tires. And the tires change depending on the conditions of the pavement, the weather conditions of the race, the location, etc. And that is the type of tire they're going to utilize becomes a very critical part for them to win the race. Mm-hmm. So the same thing with electrical distribution. How are you going to distribute power? How are you going to make your facility adjustable? How are you going to make your facility future-proof? Those are conversations that are very important, and they need to take place at the strategic level, not at the tactical level, not an after fact.
I see. Okay. So why is it essential to talk about electrical power distribution today? And if it's so essential, why is nobody talking about power distribution in a manufacturing facility?
Well, where's the crystal ball when we need it, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons, I'll give you another example, right? I think it's, we take it for granted, right? For example, when I checked into my hotel here in Rosemont, and I walk into the room, I never thought that the lights were not going to turn on. I never thought that the water faucet was not going to open up and have water, right? We go through our everyday lives, we get busy with work, we get busy with the business, right? And we don't think about these things. We get so caught up on paradigms, we get so caught up on old habits to break, and the electrical power distribution is one of them. So it is so ironic that we are having all these innovations, all these new products and solutions that are so state-of-the-art, but we still utilizing electrical power distribution methods that were created 120 years ago. So let's think about for a second, the typical traditional conventional methods of pipe and wire, there's nothing wrong with them, but they were invented about 120 years ago, give or take, and that is our status quo, we are channeled, we are wired to do that, to think about power distribution, no different than what we do in our house, right? But in manufacturing, we have other needs and we have to respond, we have to go to market faster. So maybe that's one of the reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Let's think outside the box, right? And try to see the invisible, mm-hmm. right? What is it out there that we're not seeing that is not allowing us to meet our goals, mm-hmm. to meet customer expectations, or to respond rapidly to change? And you know pretty well, change is constant. That's one thing we can't change, right?
Yeah. So would you say that, you've made the point that it's essential to talk about it. Would you say that this is the kind of thing that sort of gets put on the back burner while facilities focus on other things?
Absolutely, absolutely. The focus is on the product, on the goals, but no different than our keynote speaker this morning here, right? She was talking about how to nurture the workforce in order to achieve your goals, right? It's important to have communication. Workforce, we're talking about people, right? It has nothing to do necessarily with the technology, but it's a critical part strategically for them to meet their goals. So no different than the workforce, electrical power should be part of that conversation, right?
Absolutely. So what are the consequences of not having the appropriate power distribution system in your facility?
Well, some of the consequences is that as a manufacturer, you're not going to be able to meet deadlines. If you have to make a change, it's going to take you longer because you need to have power. Constantly we hear about customers who want to test their products and they have their laboratories, and it takes them a week or 2 or 3 weeks for their maintenance people or the personnel to bring the power exactly where they need it. So when you have a flexible power distribution system, you're going to be able to make those changes faster, and you're going to minimize the downtime. That's another huge consequence. We sometimes see the price of the systems, but we don't see the real cost. So if you have a flexible power system and you can make the change in minutes as opposed to hours or days, you're going to save millions of dollars in production time and downtime. For finance people, when they do these financial, schedule maintenance, they already calculate how much you're going to lose in productivity, in revenue, and what's going to be the bottom line impact on their revenue, et cetera. So electrical systems can help with that, right? So those are some of the consequences, right? And there's a lot more, but we only have so much time.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the Starline Track Busway?
Well, Starline Track Busway is one of our leading brands. We're part of Legrand Corporation. We are a multinational company. We sell our systems in more than 180 countries around the world. So we design and manufacture electrical and digital solutions for buildings. Right? We specialize in power management, power distribution, we do lighting controls, and so many other solutions. Starline Track Busway is one of our leading brands in terms of growth. We are experiencing, fortunately, a tremendous growth, and we are specialized in flexible power distribution, which is what we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Our systems are modular, plug and play, customizable, scalable, etc. And it's just a very different, a great alternative to power distribution that addresses all the situations and all the concerns that I mentioned a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. So after you install the busway or the track busway, what are some of the differences that a manufacturing facility has come to you and said, we noticed this or this is improved?
Great question. So I'm going to give you another analogy. When was the last time, Jennifer, that you were in an airport and you have to plug in your cell phone?
Yeah, well, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, right? And you have to go and find the power. You have to go and find the receptacle to plug in your charger, correct?
Yes.
So you have to go and get go where the power was. With Starline, the power comes with you. So manufacturers notice that power is going to change. The layout of the facility is going to change. The technology is going to change. Everything's going to be rearranged. So you have to bring the power where you actually need it. And sometimes that power could be just a few feet away. And you don't have the flexible system like Starline, you're going to have to bring extension cords, so you have to bring an outside electrical contractor, and that's going to take time and money. That if you can say that, your operation is going to be fast or nimble, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the first things that they notice, right, how easy it is to install it, and how easy it is to move it in seconds and provide the power at the point of use.
Yeah, and I mean, all of those cords and everything, that can also become a safety issue. Someone could a tripping hazard or something like that. I don't know.
Well, the big S, right? Safety. Yeah, definitely. These systems are safe. They have been tested to the utmost UL listing, which is a third-party tester for safety, and they're safe to use. And in some cases, when you have extension cords on the floor, that creates a safety hazard in terms of a fire hazard, but also a tripping hazard.
Right.
When you have things on the floor that you're not supposed to have, now you're causing some issues and some obstacles to your operators. They can have an accident, and that's a reportable, and we know that's a metric that manufacturers follow very closely as well, right?
Yes, so where can a manufacturer learn more about Starline Track Busway?
Great question. Well, you can hide nowadays, right, Graham? Even Graham over there, the camera, he can hide. Well, very simple. You can just use your favorite browser, starlinepower.com. You can find us there. You can send us an email at info@starlinepower.com. You can give us a call, 1-800-265-6378, extension 3, or just simply Google, like I said. And if you're here in Rosemont, come and see us in booth 413. We'd love to show you the product and how we can bring value to your operation.
Absolutely. Well, Adrian, is there anything that you would like to close with before we finish the podcast today?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
It's great to see that your organization continues to invest on manufacturing. These are things that we need to think of in terms of bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., be nimble and be able to do more with less, more efficient. So thank you for that, and looking forward for another show next year, perhaps.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Assembly Audible. We invite you to check out all of our content on assemblymag.com. Until next time, I'm Jennifer Pierce, signing off for today. Thanks for listening.